Hi everyone, now let me show you some clips from my main watercolour video lesson on how to paint a very handsome Tawny Owl. Let's get started. Now I don't like to spend too long on the background because once you get the paint on, it's going to start to dry. So just be very wary about the fact that there is a time limit to a certain degree when you start adding background colours on. Now I only want it to come as far as I remember. I don't want it coming too far forward. So lemon yellow, start off with that one first of all. Thinking about that kind of arc. If it's not quite right, what you can do, just get your brush and just soften that back out a little bit. Probably to there. That'll blend in somewhat. And then for the sap green, remember you've got a little bit of time to adjust this, but not much. So sap green, a little bit of that in there. I need this to blend. I really want it to blend. We've got a little bit of burnt umber and also burnt sienna. So burnt sienna, just steal a bit of that in there, and burnt umber. 50-50 mix and make this to like a milky consistency. And then just simply fill the eye in. Honestly, just fill it in. Being very careful to maintain the shape of the eye. See, that's another reason why we do the drawing out stage as well, especially by going over with paint afterwards, is that we can just fine tune the shape of the eye. But at the moment we just want to fill it in with this colour, and it will all come evident eventually. You'll see what I mean why I'm doing this in a bit. Just got a little bit more of that mix. Burnt umber, burnt sienna. We've got this highlight around here as well, don't forget, which is the brown. So don't forget, as I said, we've got the brown underneath, and this is why. Because that brown underneath just gives us a little bit of scope for kind of pulling paint off, and that will reveal that brown paint, which is what we want it to do. I can just barely see a little bit of a highlight just here as well. There we go. And then if you want to, you can just touch it in again. A little bit more blacky brown, just so it's not too sharp and barely visible. Now this is where you can just about make out a nostril there as well. So I'm going to pop that in, break it away, and then pop in a few darker areas now within there. There are other colours in there as well. I can see brown in there. But for now we'll just add this colour on because we can add brown over the top of that. Just kind of tone it, tint it, whatever words you want to use. And then just reinforce the top of the beak area. All we're after at the moment is just trying to get some colour on the paper and the correct colours on the paper as well. Just going to fine tune those edges a little bit so just we don't get the white of the paper underneath showing through. Just pull some of that out just to tint those edges down a little bit. And start working on all these little layers. Now we've got these lines in, just kind of keep us a little bit more on track. What we need to do now is fill all the chest in, but when you get to this area of the chest, look at the direction they all go and see this kind of sweeping movement these little lines go. Don't put too many in. See, that's too much. I'll wipe it with my finger. I'm going to dab it onto a little bit of kitchen roll. Okay. Something I'll put a little bit more for you. And just very lightly skimming over the paper. Again, look in the direction it's got to go within this section here. So we're going to gradually build the detail up. It's a bit of a curve as well. And do it by small tapping marks as well. I don't want to make it too obvious. Not at this time, until we know it's exactly right, or near as we can get it anyway. And then that section there, and there's another section just to the side of that, just to here. Tap it. And create that kind of shape that you can see within it. So you have a little bit of an arc in this area. So again, I'm looking at the photograph, really looking deep into the photograph now. I've got it zoomed in front of me just so I can see all those details. Reload, take off most of the paint. Again, I'd rather have too less paint, or not enough paint should I say, rather than too much. That's probably the best way of putting it. Because at least that way you got a bit more control over what goes on the paper. Because there's no rush for doing the painting, as they should never rush it. Now into the blacky brown colour. Another layer, which is going to look even darker now. Make use of it. And the same around here. I'm going to work my way down using the side of the brush, just skipping, picking out just any areas that you think might be there. And again, you don't have to copy the photo. This is your tree. You can paint it any way that you want to paint it. Entirely your choice, it really is. And all I'm trying to do is create texture on the tree, thinking about a curve. I think I'll rub that. Thinking about a curve as I do this. Just a gentle curve. And a bit further down. Rub it. And you'll also find as well, you know, when the brush starts going dry, make use of it. Do a bit of dry brush effect on there as well. See how dry brush that is? It's very dry. I went a bit high pitched then, sorry about that. Didn't know I could do that. And then all the way to the top. Dry brush it. Use the edge of the brush. Just to the right hand side, look. If it's too much, just tap it with your finger. If it's too bright when it's dry, all you need to do is either very lightly soften it with your brush, with a damp clean brush, or add a little bit of colour over the top, which you know you can do as well. You know how to do that. Remember we did it on the feathers. Just a few, skipping the paper with the side of the brush, not overloading at all. What you can do is put the occasional thinner line like this within there. No, don't go mad with it though. Remember, less is best with the white. You can always come back and add more later if you feel you need to. But stay to the right hand side from the middle right. And more to the right actually. So a little odd kind of little flecks in the middle. Right, okay, that's it. Put the brush down, Paul. Wash it out. That's enough now. Okay, so hope you enjoyed that. And this is how to paint a tawny owl on a tree in watercolour. And something I really enjoyed doing this one as well. It's been really good fun. And remember, with the tree itself, you can change it for whatever colours you want it to be. You can have different barks, as I said, you know, different type of trees. It's entirely your choice. Now the real full-time video of this Tawny Owl lesson is now available on my online school. So if you feel this is something just for you, come and join my members on Patreon and gain access to lots of exclusive content and all of that catalogue of information and videos that you can have a go at painting straight away. Hopefully I'll see you there. Bye for now.